25 more things you didn't know in ULTRAKILL, because that will make 100. Let's go. Every single Cerberus you walk past in-game, whether it gets up or not, is sentient, is awake, and can attack you. It's just, only the ones that get up decide they feel like attacking you. The other ones just kind of don't care, I guess. So all of these guys here, who just don't give a fuck, like they could get up and kill me, they just don't want to, they don't feel like it. Everyone's heard all the jokes about the Mind Flayer, because of course they have. But the Mind Flayer itself is only this little grey bit and all the tentacles. Actually, now that I think about it, I don't really know why these exist. But the Mind Flayer itself is just the grey bit. The actual body is just a bunch of plastic it's found and made to look like that because it likes it. The dudes chilling in the backs of Guttermen were once alive, right? They were barely alive, and they were alive to keep these things fueled. But whether or not they're alive now is a bit up in the air. If you turn on Fulbright, you can see that this tube that was going from its heart is still red, implying there's still blood being pumped from this thing, which is still keeping the Gutterman alive. But, I don't know about you, but this guy, he doesn't look very alive to me. And to just further complicate things, this guy doesn't even have the dude on the back, so who knows what the fuck is keeping this guy up and running. Every Swordsmachine you fight in the game is just a replica of the original Swordsmachine. Now we don't know who the original is, but it's speculated that it's this guy in O-2, purely because I guess it's the one that we fight first, so it's probably the first one. But there isn't anything to confirm whether or not this guy is the original Swordsmachine or not. In 4-4, V2 gains the ability to shoot your coins back at you, but did you know that even 1-4 V2 has this ability? It won't try to shoot your coins back, and it won't happen very often, but if you can throw a coin into its path, if you can manage to throw a coin into where its piercer shot goes, it will shoot the coin back at you just like it's 4-4. See? It's just really hard to get this to happen because, well, V2 isn't actively trying to do this in this fight. Since we're in 1-4, I suppose I may as well go over what V2 does when he dies. Once V2 dies, he jumps out of bounds and drops you the Knuckle Blaster. But did you know, if you go out of bounds, he's just kind of chilling here? He's trying his best to run away, as you can see by his frantic scrambling, but no, he's forever stuck in purgatory, bouncing forever and ever. When you start up a new save file, or you start with the full intro, right at the start of the boot up sequence, you get a firmware version, and it says 2112.08.06, which can be taken as a date. And it's no coincidence that this date is just under 200 years after the start of World War I. My dogs are going crazy. It has all but been explicitly confirmed by Hakita that ULTRAKILL's final war is just an elongated version of World War I, and by explicitly confirmed, I mean Hakita has literally done everything but say it's World War I. It's World War I. Now, I love the sharpshooter's right-click. I think the sharpshooter's right-click is one of the most fun mechanics in this game, but did you know it was originally going to be its own separate weapon? One of the original concepts for a revolver was going to be a weapon that if you shot, it would bounce around. But Hakita decided that it was too clunky to be put as a whole weapon, so instead this idea was repurposed as just the right-click for the sharpshooter, which I think is much better. This is Maurice. This is Andre. And this is Benjamin. I'm pretty sure Maurice has an actual reason behind it being called Maurice, and the other two are just silly names people came up with because they're silly. This one is mostly just a very easy detail to miss or to forget about, but these mannequins in 7-1 move when you look away from them. Sometimes. But the one behind me keeps doing it, but this guy just... there we go. Rockets obviously bounce off of Maurice, and other parts of enemies that have plating. But the way they bounce is really weird, and you wouldn't really get to see it in a normal game because they're in such small areas. But once they bounce, they kind of like go everywhere. Using the same metallic material and sandbox in any hit scan weapon, you can create a particle accelerator. Just don't let your Sisyphus walk into the particle accelerator, it's not healthy for him.
That's it.
he sleep. If you have the disable enemy spawns cheat enabled, obviously nothing will spawn when you walk into rooms. However, if you go into the Hideous Mass room in 1-3 or 1-E, his arms will still be chilling here, and he'll still be just under the map. I am very aware that you can shotgun swap by just having one shotgun. All you need to do is go into your settings, go to your controls, and bind anything to variation slot 1, and then you just press that button. Violence is probably the layer in the game with the most connections to Dante's Inferno, as every level in this layer represents a different sub-layer of the violence circle in Hell. Violence is the biggest layer in Dante's Inferno, and so it's split into 4 different areas. 7-1 represents the labyrinth. The dogs are going off again, aren't they? 7-2 is supposed to represent violence against others, which is why it's a perpetual war zone. 7-3 represents violence against the self, which is why all of these trees are oddly humanoid-shaped. It's because they're people who committed suicide and have been banished being a tree. And then 7-4 represent violence against God, which I guess humanity creating a weapon so powerful it destroys all life that God created. Yeah, I guess that fits. Despite being only loosely connected to Dante's Inferno, ULTRAKILL still does share a bunch of locations from the book in its game, such as the city of Dis in 6-1, the river Styx, which has now become the ocean Styx due to just how many people died, the river, the river in 7-2. The Lust City, however, is complete bullshit. Big John and the Soap apparently both come from Dusk. I have never played Dusk, so, if that's not true, blame everyone who told me it comes from Dusk. If you no-clip through the exit into the vacuum and cleaning room in 7-S, and then walk right back out the door, the game will think that you've finished, because, well, technically, there's no dirt anywhere. And because the game thinks there's no dirt anywhere, you can just leave. This is actually how the 7-S speedrun works. They just clip into this room, and then the game is like, oh, there's no dirt, okay, off you go. This is called the Death Star tech. There's not really like a fun fact, I just think it's funny that that's called the Death Star. Ultra Revamp added this text into 5-1, which shows you that the water in Wrath is being sent to the Lust City. It says the Lust layer is a peaceful city. This plant siphons infrastructure, vital water to us. If you have escaped the ocean Styx, use these pipes to send us a message, and we will rescue you. That's pretty wholesome. The in-game reason that you can freeze gutter tank rockets with the freeze frame is because it's reused technology between the both of them. Now apparently a lot of people get this wrong, but Gabriel is the protagonist of the story of ULTRAKILL. He has most of the dialogue in the game. He has all of the story beats. He is the main character. The random bumblefuck robot you play as is not the main character of this game. Now the Earthmovers in 7-2 kinda look like just a 2D image that lights up every so often. But if you fly all the way out there, the closer you get, the more you'll start seeing that they're actually fully 3D modeled. Turning on full bright doesn't actually help here, so we'll have to wait for the flashing of light. But yeah, you can see, like, it's full 3D. They're not full-size Earthmovers, but they are pretty big boys still. To my knowledge, this isn't mentioned anywhere in-game, it's not even on the title screen. But V1's wings are where he stores all of his weapons. You can only see this, as far as I'm aware, in the New Blood poster for the game, where you can see the revolver, the shotgun. I think that's probably the nail gun or the saw blade launcher. I don't know why this isn't on the title screen. I think it'd be really cool to see this on the title screen. Maybe it's to not spoil new players to the weapons later on in the game, but maybe the title screen could change as you unlock different weapons. I think that'd be a cool idea. And that is somehow 100 different facts about this game over 4 different videos. I'll probably be turning these all into one big video at some point, so look out for that.